I'm extremely excited to be partnered with DeEEP Network. That's true decentralization. And when you guys came out with this product, I mean, I hit you guys up almost right away.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing tonight? Well, actually, the morning, right?
Yeah, it's morning for me. So where are you at?
I'm in Romania right now. I'm flying out in, well, I leave my house here in about 4 hours. I'm catching a red eye to Slovenia for the Science and Technology Festival or conference with ICBC.
Nice, man. That's exciting. I was seeing some of your announcements on that. So, or you were talking to, I think it was might have been Rocket Unit. I think you're talking about that. So it looks like it'll be a fun event. You guys, you do a lot of events, don't you?
Yeah, we did the Mary Jane Festival there, which was absolutely amazing. The turnout was the largest in the history of Europe. Then after that, I went to Cannabis Europa, which is a Prohibition Partners. It was absolutely unbelievable because it was, I got a bird's eye view of like how the European structure is being implemented. And it's largely medical. The stories that I've heard from these laboratories, the pharmaceutical industry, like what's propelling them into the cannabis industry is like is absolutely mind blowing. You know, like I'm from California, and we have a infrastructure there that's like very normalized. You know, so. To see these countries that are just emerging into this legal atmosphere and the approach that they're taking is groundbreaking, to say the least. It's what I wanted my platform to kind of like accentuate is where their mentality is. You know, like we've come from a medicinal state in California. Like everything started off as medicinal. And then once we started enacting these recreational laws, all of a sudden we start getting into like normalizing it in our daily lives and things like this. So it's like one step backwards, 2 steps forwards, you know?
At least it's going forward.
And it's going forward at like an immense speed, you know? Like one of the things you can see in our platform is like all this technical aspect, all the scientific aspects of the plant, and all this like brand new birth of knowledge that's come out. A lot of us that have been in the industry for decades like know so much about it, but then when you look at the test results, you're like, what do these compounds do? You know, it's like Metaflora is able to take what they have done and create it into more simpler terms. You know, like we create a definition for everything, you know?
Well, let's back up. Let's back up a second, because I can see the passion, like, which is awesome, man. I want to get into all that. But your name says Greg. I know you as Trypto as well on That's Discord and Twitter. Why don't you tell people a little bit about what Metaflora is and who you are?
Let me first take a step back and why I named myself Trypto on social media. Trypto is actually a shortened form of Tryptolamus, and Tryptolamus was the messenger of Demeter, who is the goddess of agriculture, who was sent to spread the knowledge of agriculture across the lands. He was driven by a carriage of dragons in order to pursue this mission. So that's who I am. I am the guy who's been sent from the goddess of agriculture to explain to everybody across the lands exactly what this all means and to spread the knowledge so everybody can have it. Metaflora is exactly this as well. This is our platform in order to create these definitions, in order to create a transparent and verified area of expertise. And this is what we're building, exactly what we're building.
What do you mean by definitions?
So a lot of people, for instance, think that Well, one of the best benefits of cannabis is that it can enhance your appetite. But what we don't know is that there's chemical compounds in there called THCV, and it is appetite suppressing, right? So we wouldn't know any of this without the medicinal and laboratory fields showing us that these compounds are more prevalent. Now, if THCV comes out on your test results, how do we know that that's actually what it does, right? So we're trying to spread that knowledge of what each one of these minute compounds actually brings to the table. So there's a separation as well, right? We have the cultivators and the breeders. Now we also have the brands that are buying up these cultivations, and then they're selling them into the retail environment. Now the end consumer, all they see is a black and white piece of paper that states what's inside of it, but we don't have the definition of what each one does. So as we link the consumer to the industry, Metaflora is able to create a review, create feedback. Now, cultivations and breeders can go back and say, okay, let's look at this library that we have intact. We have this strain here that is very, very high in THCV. Now we have another strain over here that's very high in THCV. And if we cross them together, we're going to have an abundance of THCV in this plant. So we're just building blocks on the future of innovations of each genetic makeup as we move ourselves along.
This is amazing, man. I mean, it's data. Like so much. I'm a data guy. I love data. So like, you can do some amazing things with it. And I can see you talk about it, and I see the passion. Like you're like the growth and the advancement, and being able to kind of take this stuff and really deliver it to the consumer, deliver it to people that need it and want it on whatever level that is amazing.
So if you're watching this today, we're looking at the foundation of Metaflora. We have years of progress to go. Like just because development takes time, the UI takes time, we need to be able to apply to a lot of people, and we need to onboard companies in order to show them that this is the ultimate solution in the end. Mm-hmm. And the only way that we're going to do that is it's like talking to a government. The governments that haven't passed the laws for cannabis, recreational cannabis, or even medicinal cannabis, they have too much fear in their minds. And so with the blockchain, we can kind of eliminate all these fears, because how do you eliminate a fear is by showing the data and showing an absolute proof, an undeniability.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you why blockchain then? Like, I mean, all this stuff that you're doing can easily be done on a database.
If it's not on the blockchain, it's not immutable, and it's not for longevity. Cloud storage is potentially has an end date to it. The blockchain is forever. The blockchain is completely transparent. We can create a foundation that can always be looked back on. No matter what happens to Metaflora, as long as we have nodes running, the platform will never ever go anywhere. And
so that data will live on forever as long as somebody's running a node somewhere, right?
Exactly. And let's look at that for a second here, because a lot of the blockchain is run on cloud storage, right? Now, we looked at DeEEP Network. I've thought about this for a very long time. Before me and you even became acquaintances with each other,
yeah,
I only host nodes on my computer. And then when Nerd Node came out, I started hosting nodes through you guys. And all I could think about, like, sometimes my computer turns off. I go on vacation, somebody else uses it, and my Docker gets shut down. And I always thought, I'm like, man, all I want is a device that just plugs in the corner of my room. Nobody's ever going to touch it, and it runs my nodes, because I truly believe in decentralization, and the fact that it would be running on my computer, on this guy's computer, on this person's computer, that's true decentralization. And when you guys came out with this product, I mean, I hit you guys up almost right away. Like,
yeah.
this is something that is solving a problem. I've never run any of my nodes on cloud storage, and it was because I thought that it was the most amazing idea ever that all my computers in my house can run the blockchain.
I'm not trying to compare it with Bitcoin, but this is what we see with Bitcoin in terms of people believe in it so much. They just run nodes because they want to run nodes. They're not worried about whatever financial incentive they're trying to get from it. They just run it because they believe in Bitcoin, right? And I see the Metaflora side, the passion you have, and I know a lot of people that have the passion for, cannabis and that industry and what it can do on the medical side. So there's people that were going to run it just because they want to keep that data moving. They want to keep that platform available for people to utilize it and, make the industry, continue on and be better. So it's cool. I'm glad we were able to, connect and, bring the two together, in our partnership, which we've already announced, but letting people know that it's a partnership of like-mindedness, of being able to help each other advance in this industry of blockchain and really make it so it's accessible for a lot of people too, to be a part of it.
Metaflora really answers all those questions along the line of why we need this there. Like, you can do it Web 2, you can have your regular website, but that was the thing. It was like, even I've seen even labs that have tremendous amount of information that went under. And I can't, they have their GitHubs up there and it's not accessible anymore.
Yeah.
Because it was all hosted on AWS and I can't get the access anymore.
It's not just, your industry. Like, the thing that we want to do with DeEEP is we want to get into every industry, that is, trying to be Web3. We want to help them, actually be Web3 and take their data off of AWS and make it more decentralized so it can live on forever. My favorite is always talking about NFTs because everybody loves their monkey pictures, right? Well, what happens when they stop paying their AWS bill? What happens when your little JPEG picture is no longer available because they can't access it anymore because it's all sitting on AWS, right? This is the opportunity that we have to take these companies, help them move forward, and help them decentralize it, and give the community the ability to participate as well, right? So the community wants to be part. They believe in what you're doing, right? And they want to be a part of that. And that's what a node ecosystem can do. It gives them the physical ability to run a part of your network and help maintain that network. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't actually realize is like, this is everybody like that wants to be a part of it. You can be like, not just in a Discord and having chats, but you can actually physically run a node.
And so we're looking at people who are like, well, how do I run a node? What is this all about? It's like, don't worry. All you have to do is purchase the node, put it on the DeEEP network, set it and forget it, and you're in. That's it.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing that you have to do. You don't have to program your Docker. You go to your DeEEP network, you select a node, and you're done. This is like seamless integration, and we're looking at that barrier of entry being completely eliminated.
Yeah, that's what we did at Nerd Node to start. Was we wanted to make it as simple as possible. People, it's a one-click deployment for node ecosystems. Right? Got 40 more node ecosystems that are launching. Obviously, Metaflora is going to be right there as soon as it's available. It's going right. Like, we're going to launch that thing day one. The making it easy for people is what's going to make it successful. And so that's what we've been working on for the last 3 years. And now we're going to decentralize our internal processes that we have in the DeEEP network.
Yeah, 100%. I'm really excited about it all. Like, my conversations when I go into these partnerships I have the answer. It's
yep.
When it comes to running those nodes, it's night and day. There's just one finite answer, and just click the button and it's done.
Yeah, I know. Well, why don't you do this? Let me. We're going to post everything in here too, like where they can find Metaflora and DeEEP and all that kind of stuff. But what are kind of some of your last, what else do you want to say about Metaflora so people can know a little bit more about it?
So, for those of you guys that don't know, we have our platform that just launched on our soft launch. And right now we have, well, by the end of today, we're going to have over 8,000 strains there. Our library is around 14,000 strains, but they're not ready to be released on the platform just yet. So we have a certain section for all the strains in our database. We have a certain section that has all of our lab results. We have a complete section on articles. We have guides on how to do things. And our probably one of the most popular in our community is all the recipes that are there. Furthermore, if you go into our ranking section, not only do we have the most visited strains, but you can start looking at the most common effects for things. So our community has been talking a lot about, they want something uplifting, they want something for their creativity. So they're searching these strains, and then they're going to the dispensary and they're asking for these strains. But what I'm most excited about is when you go to the ranking section, we have most accurate disease treatments. So we have doctors that are a part of our community that are running nodes. And one of the things that they had said to us before was, Greg, I'm a doctor. My patient comes in, I'm supposed to tell them what to take. This sort of thing, like that's my priority. So if you go to the most accurate disease treatments, you can scroll down and find what you're looking at. You can go even as far as cancer treatments, Alzheimer's, PTSD, epilepsy. These sort of things is what we really want to pinpoint in a genetic makeup atmosphere.
I love that, man.
This is really pretty much what I'm most excited about, what our platform can solve for us all.
Yeah, I mean, the medical industry needs overall the idea of doctors to be able to research and quickly find information on whatever drugs or supplements or whatever it is they're trying to give to their patient or find out what's wrong with their patient. So I mean, that's exciting, man. I love it. That's great. So do you have a lot of so on the back end side, you have a lot of dispensaries that are probably a part of your system right now. Is that correct?
So that section of the company is going to be being built out. I would say that you can definitely expect it by December. We're going to be doing a huge push for that. The initial release of our marketplace is going to be highlighting CBD strains and seeds. That's going to be the easiest way for the legal framework on a global scale. We can solve these issues very easily with THC in the United States. We have a way to establish our platform there, but Metaflora is a global atmosphere. And so we're looking at establishing ourselves in Europe this summer. We've made a lot of fine connections here, and we want to solve those problems or those issues as quickly as possible in order to bring the full industry market into the hands of the Metaflora ecosystem.
Well, awesome, dude. So much information and so much stuff that you guys are doing. I'm excited to see the continued building of everything that moves forward and how it increases. I recommend everybody kind of go to, your Launchpad, your website, and check it out and, test it and help them out, kind of be a part of that community if you're so inclined.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited to be partnered with DeEEP Network and your node. We'll be even selling your devices in our marketplace as well for our users as well. And yeah.
All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you taking some time. I know you're busy, getting ready to fly more places. So enjoy your time abroad, and we'll talk when you get back.
Heck yeah. I'll be back very soon.
All right, man. You take care.